How you doing, guys? It is Sunday the 12th of April. This will be my second check-in this week. So yesterday was the Muscle Xcess Loch Gaelic Classic of 2015, which a number of us from Team Extreme went to go and support two friends who were competing on the stage. One friend I didn't actually know was competing, he kept it quite quiet, Derek Cooper, who's a previous winner at the UKBFF. He was competing, and so was our friend Mags, who was doing her first show in the toned figure class. So yesterday was actually my first experience of going and witnessing a show, and it's a very long day, I'm not going to lie. Even as a spectator, it's a very long day, because you're there from 12 o'clock all the way to 11 o'clock at night, and especially when you're on prep, as I am, as a couple of my other friends were as well, we had to prepare all our food and take all our food with us, and it was freezing cold and it was shit and it was horrible. Not to mention, for me personally, it was a low carb day, which made things a wee bit more difficult as well, but do you know what, I got through it. And yeah, that was that. The good thing being is this week I've trained Monday to Friday, so I didn't have to do any weight exercises yesterday. It was just a case of getting up and doing my HIIT in the morning, which I did do. As I think I said to you earlier on in my entry, not having my car this week, and I've done quite a high number of lists training. Some of it intentional, some not intentional, just because I didn't have my car. It was in for its MOT and whatnot. But I was quite excited to see what my weigh-in was going to be this week. The past 2 weeks I've dropped minimal amounts, even though I dropped a high number of carbs using a carb cycling method, for a better term. My coach then decided to drop a further 20 grams of carbs per day from my diet, and it was clearly evident that those 20 grams of carbs made all the difference, because very, very quickly, I know I keep going on about it, my face dropped in so much. I feel okay, my strength and stuff's still okay, but I must confess, this morning in particular, very flat, very depleted, feel incredibly skinny, and in desperate need of a right good carb up. I weighed myself last night, which I don't normally do. A tendency to put on between 4 and 6 pounds from a morning weigh-in to pre-bed weigh-in, and last night I was the exact same weight as I was in the morning when I weighed in at night. So that was a turn up for the books. It's the first time that's ever happened. So either my metabolism was firing all cylinders, which was really bizarre given the fact that I hadn't trained. My body was washing out the water that was sitting there, or my body just enjoyed the rest. For whatever reason it was, I was a little bit apprehensive this morning. As I said, I got up in the morning and I always look down at my stomach to see where I'm at, and very, very flat. Looked in the mirror and looked incredibly skinny, which obviously as a bodybuilder is a massive dent to your confidence. So did my 20 minutes HIIT, which I've increased the intensity of, although it's still 20 minutes in duration. I'm now doing a minute on, a minute off. No, rather a minute off. Yeah, minute on, a minute off. Yeah, that's right. It was previously just half a minute on. So I've increased that a little bit, and went for my dog walk and took a couple of snaps in the lift. The lift seems to be the best place I can get a photo, because obviously the light's perfectly above my head, and then when I'm holding the camera there's no shadow, which is good. Whereas I take it in my room, the light bounces from different directions. Stomach's starting to come through, which was nice, but my arms, my chest, my shoulders just look shit, to be honest. They look so flat. So yeah, that really knocked my confidence. I then did my weigh-in, and yeah, lost a lot. Currently sitting in at 168.5 pounds, which is a drop of 3 3/4 pounds from last week. A massive drop. Spoke to my coaches this morning about it, and they said, well, given the fact you only dropped minimal amounts the past 2 weeks, even though you dropped a lot, it looks like your body's just waited and shot it all out in one go. So things are going to stay macro wise the same this week. Cardio is going to stay the same this week as we move into 10 weeks into 9 weeks out from show. And I would imagine probably the drop this week probably won't be the same. Well, I hope so, otherwise I'll be 5 stone by the time I get to stage. But yeah, mentally it's hard. I've got a refeed today, or a cheat meal. It's probably the more technical term. I've been told to go and have a proper cheat meal again, which is what happened last week. And I have to send them evidence that I'm having a proper cheat meal. So we'll wait and see how this week goes. One of my supplements that I take, obviously a natural supplement, a herbal supplement, I don't have any more of, and they're currently out of stock. So I'll not be running on them this week, which I was intending to take a week off, but obviously in plenty of time prior to show to give my body a rest from it. Because what I do find with any sort of supplement, you know, if it's creatine or I wouldn't go as far as saying branched chain amino acids, but certain things that you can supplement and run a course of as a natural competitor, they lose their effectiveness if my dog goes wild outside. They lose their effectiveness if you're running them permanently. I even find things like vitamin C, if you use them permanently all the time, by the time you get to the winter, I think your body's used to it. So unless you really increase your dosage, which you've also got to be careful with, it becomes counterproductive. So this week I'm going to take a week off my supplement, because I have no choice until they arrive again. So next week will be interesting to see what I drop in weight. I've only had one meal today, and it's 2:25, purely on the basis that I slept until 11:30. I won't give you a check-in because I feel so flat. Oh no, I'll do it, just to show you where I'm at. As I said, I've had one meal, and I don't know if the lighting will be the best to show, but I'm trying to use my scales to hold this up. It's hard to gauge because the light's shining in from my doors here. That's my stomach today, and you can see my arms and stuff, they're very flat. So yeah, skinny face, lots of people commenting on how skinny I am, and yeah, 10 weeks to go. So I'll check in again during the week, and we'll see where I'm at mentally, physically. Got a training session with Andy Scott on Monday. We're going to do back. Then from there we have normal training resumed. Then NABA on Saturday with the girls to support Mags again. And then on, what day is it? Sunday, the day before I go back to work, I've got a PT session with Tony Mount, which I'm looking forward to. So I'll be mixing up my training days. Normally I do legs, chest, back, shoulders, arms, abs, calves, in that order. I'm quite OCD with my routine, but this week I'm going to kick off with back, then move on to chest, then day off, legs, shoulders, and then play it by ear. Take Saturday off probably, and play it by ear to see how I feel on Sunday, to see what I do with Tony Mount. So until next week, unless I feel there's a need to post another video, I'll see you then, guys. Time's ticking down. See you later.